if you had the choice to have one of your favorite anime, or maybe least favorite anime but favorite manga, get the Brotherhood treatment, which anime would it be?
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast.
Howdy.
And we've got a fun episode today.
Yes.
We've been sitting on this one for a bit, and that is if you had the choice to have one of your favorite anime, or maybe least favorite anime but favorite manga, get the Brotherhood treatment, which anime would it be? And what studio would you want to take it on?
Bang.
Now,
This will be a fun
rules.
one.
We have rules.
Yes.
First of all, if you're new around here, we talk about anime,
What?
manga.
What?
Sometimes Star Wars.
Sometimes. Last week.
Last week. And also superheroes.
Yeah.
We also have a Monday show, not a podcast, but a YouTube series called Marvel Mondays, where currently we're going through the MCU movies in release order. So check that out if you have not already. And click that subscribe button and
Hit that notification bell.
But yeah, so we don't want to insult anyone. So first off, we understand that studios, it's all an ad.
Yeah.
Anime's an ad. So depending on the amount of money a studio receives to make said advertisement for the manga or light novel or whatever product they're selling, shows in the final product.
Yep.
That being said, so every studio we pick, we're not trying to bash them. I'm
No.
sure if given the right amount of money,
They could have done it a lot better.
the right amount of time
Yep.
to complete a series, that they could have done an absolute amazing job.
Exactly.
So this is just for fun. We're not trying to bully any studio
No.
or look down on anything. This is all for fun. So that's the first thing out of the way. The way we are handling this, though, is Matt and I have created a list of some anime that we ourselves personally would like to see get a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood level treatment.
Remake, higher budget, no
better quality.
filler.
The assumption is they have budget, the studio has whatever they want.
They got the means to do it.
Yeah. And to simplify things, we're going to pick a studio we would like to do it.
Yep.
We understand that that's totally, things change based on director, the animators that they might have, because some shows have freelance animators that they pick up to do a specific show to help
Mhm.
with a show. So we understand this is just for simplicity's sake. We're going to be saying a studio. We understand that a Studio Mappa project could look just as good if you have the same director, blah blah blah, as Madhouse, for example. But we're just trying to simplify it. So just saying. And what's the last thing? Oh, we're not using the same studio,
Yeah.
and we're gonna use an example as to why an example of an anime that studio made that we think would work for the anime we
For
picked.
that style, yeah.
Whether it be tone or just choreography, etc. And that's why obviously we're doing one studio per anime, because we didn't want to just be like, yeah, I want Ufotable to do all of this.
Do all
or
of
I
it.
want
Yeah,
Madhouse
yeah.
to do all this.
It's not fair to do it that way.
We're trying to spread the love here.
Exactly.
But yeah, we would love for you guys to follow along and also do your top 10, top 5 list of anime you would love to see get remade and what studio you would like to see taken on. I think it'd be really fun to get involved in the comments or in our Discord. The link tree for that is down in the description below.
Yep.
But I think that's all of our rules. And last but not least, like, this is just for fun. It's not serious.
Exactly.
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. It's just our opinions thinking, this could be fun. This could be a really cool idea if they were given the budget,
Okay.
And
Do you have 10 anime?
I have 8
8?
because obviously
So should I give my first
Anime.
2 and just a quickie,
yeah,
a little more quickie, and then we can jump into like 8 and going up?
Yeah.
And then if you have any honorable mentions, we can mention those at the end.
for sure.
Okay. So for me, at 10, this is just totally, I know the whole list is biased, but like, it doesn't really need one, but I'm biased, and I put Naruto as 10.
Yep.
This is originally by Studio Period. And I said, this is the only ones where I had potential repeats because I was like, okay, these don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I did say Mappa or any like studio that would handle fight scenes well,
Okay.
like good choreography for the fight scenes. And the example I used was God of High School because that just had unreal fight choreography. The story, and I don't think they quite followed the source material that well, but the
Okay.
overall fights were awesome.
Okay.
And that's kind of like and I don't think Naruto necessarily needs one. There's definitely shows that, but that's, I would love to see all the filler gone.
Yep. That automatically drops it by like 200 episodes between
Plus,
Naruto
if
and
you count
Naruto
Shippuden,
Shippuden.
like I just want to see it all shrunk down to what it can be.
Yep.
And good pacing, no filler,
Get the Fishman Island treatment.
and just look clean.
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
awesome. Not that like some of the episodes when Studio P cooks,
Certain
looks
fights
great.
in Naruto are insane.
I think of the Kakashi Obito fight,
Yep.
hand-to-hand combat, like so good.
Very well done.
And that could also put down like Studio Parrot Films, who's been doing the recent seasons of Bleach.
Yep.
1,000-Year Blood War arc, and it's been incredible.
Exactly.
It's just like, why couldn't we see that? But obviously, budget, time restraints, etc. At the time, Naruto was a weekly anime, so totally get it. 9, I put The Promised Neverland.
Okay.
This was originally by Cloverworks, who in general are very hit or miss. Sometimes some of their anime I absolutely love, and then
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, issue with Promised Neverland, it's clear that the first season got all the love, and then the manga was done. There was no reason to really care.
Yep.
At least that's what I'm assuming the execs and higher ups were like, and hence season 2 wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Very quickly.
And I put down Kinema Citrus, which is the studio that does Made in Abyss,
Okay.
because I think Made in Abyss handles the elements of like the cute, kind of that cute aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
but then very dark themes at the same time, which is very similar to The Promised Neverland. You got a lot of dark elements going on, but like this cute cast. So I think they can handle it very well. And the big reason I don't have it higher up is I've read all of The Promised Neverland. Was I disappointed in season 2? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I have the manga.
Yeah.
I've read the whole story. And as much as I love the story, I don't care as much to see the anime completed, if
That's
that makes
fair,
sense.
yeah.
It's not like one where I'm like, oh, yeah, I really, really needed to see it. Because it doesn't have as many like epic fights or anything where I'm like, oh, I really wanted to see
exactly.
that fight animated or something. I just felt like I could, for the most part, enjoyed the whole story from the manga, and I
Yes.
don't need it animated. That's why it's higher on my list. It's very hard to also rank these when we were ranking them.
It is really hard because then it's also, especially with being like, man, I'd love to see this studio do this anime and this anime, but when you're like, oh no, I can only
And
pick
as I
that
was making
studio
the list-
once.
As I was making the list, one, more anime just kept coming.
Yep.
The second issue I had was there were studios that I love that I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to use this studio. But then the anime I picked, I'm just like, there wasn't like a fit that I was like, yeah, that works for that. Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I guess on to 8. We'll let you take your first go.
Dominate. And now with mine, obviously, I watch a lot more anime films than you. I do enjoy just like an hour and a half story sometimes. And obviously this one is on here for partially nostalgia, partially because they messed it up twice. Or no, they messed it up once by doing this. 8th place, I originally had Pokemon the manga here. We discussed this obviously off podcast, and I thought about it more, and I want to see a remake of Pokemon the movie, like the original.
They did do a remake though.
And
Like
it was
3D.
and it was terrible.
I mean, it was still the movie, right?
Yeah, but as for me, I want to see Comics Wave Films do it, which obviously is known for Your Name, Weathering with You, which is fine. You know, obviously those are
okay.
big, beautiful. But recently, something that came out earlier this year was a ONA called Dragonite and the Special Delivery, done by Comics Wave Films.
Oh, okay.
And it was beautiful for Pokemon.
Well, I mean,
Like, obviously, Comics Wave Films is a beautiful company, and they love their skies and stuff like that, and obviously they take detail. But I think back to, like, the Pokemon the movie and just seeing, like, that scene when they're all trying to get to the island and, like, that terrible rainstorm with all the Pokemon. Like, I can only imagine how, like,
epic it would look.
how epic that would look with that style of art.
For me, it was really hard to put any nostalgic
Fair.
things. Like, that's why there's no Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's no, well, obviously heavily inspired by this was One Piece.
Yeah.
Right? One Piece getting a remake. Obviously, if it didn't, maybe we would have it on the list.
Yep.
But anything like that just has that nostalgic feel that that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
I find it a lot harder.
That's so fair, yeah. I think for me, Pokemon
It'd be like
is
saying
very...
Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, I want the original
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh! To be. I don't know if
That-
it'd be the same to me.
I think that's true. That is a little bit, I don't know. For me, Yu-Gi-Oh! Getting a remake is different than Pokemon getting a remake.
Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Could get a remake, and you could either A, make it more like the proper manga,
Yeah.
or B, obviously you can have it uncensored now.
Yeah,
with
that's
guns
true
and
too.
stuff, which would be a
Whole new-
wildly different
whole
ball
new
game
ball
for a
game,
lot of
yeah.
people. But there's just something super nostalgic about that, like 4Kids dub
Yeah.
of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I'm just like,
Can't-
nah,
you
it's
can't
gotta stay.
remake that.
It's
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
stay.
I think for this one, for Pokemon the movie, I think I would just want to see like a more modern, clean
Cleaned up,
version.
yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously anime was still good in the 90s and stuff, in the early 2000s.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
just to see a finer version of it.
But there's no like need. It's not because of need. You just want to see a more modernized version.
exactly.
You're not like, oh,
I'm not saying this has to be a thing. This is just me being like,
yeah, it's not
I
like
would
based
love
on
to see it.
they had a bad ending or they didn't follow
Yeah.
the manga.
But I
or
think
something.
thinking about that 3D animated one they did for Netflix,
Yeah.
and to me, I dislike that art style where it feels like a video game cutscene,
Okay.
but the whole movies
Yeah.
feels like that.
It does.
Yeah,
It was
for
okay.
me,
It was
okay. But the Pokemon, it just looked really weird
Alright.
to me.
Interesting
So-
first one. My 8 is, I'm sure this is higher up on your list, and that's Record of Ragnarok.
Okay.
So that was by Graphinica, I believe is the studio that has done the first 2 seasons of it.
Yes.
Reason being, it's a story that's literally all fighting. Or that is a very, let's say 80% of the importance of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And in the anime, the fights are quite disappointing on a choreography and animation level.
Yep.
So for me, I would pick, honestly, any other studio. Like literally any other ones. Now, unfortunately, as we go up the list, we'll see that I've already used a lot of those studios that I've mentioned that have really great fights. So like
Yep.
Mappa, Foldable Bones. So I'm going to go and use a studio that might get a little picked on during this list, and that's Studio P. Studio Pierrot. I'm going to use Studio Pierrot Films, who's doing the 1,000-Year Blood War arc for Bleach. I think they're doing an incredible job with the current seasons of Bleach, and I would love to see them do Record of Ragnarok.
That's so fair. I am looking at this. It is so the next season of Record Ragnarok comes out in about a month,
Oh dear.
and the third season actually has a different studio.
That's not usually a good sign either, though, when
No.
it's a bad. When the
Yeah.
first studio did not a great job, and then it gets. Think of Seven Deadly Sins.
But the
it changed
reverse.
I think it changed 3 studios because it changed studios and then it was already like, and then it changed studios again and then it was like, oh.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe this new studio will.
We can
Yeah,
only hope.
I
What
can
what
only
fight
hope.
are they covering?
Buddha, I believe, is coming up. So I'm like,
Super fun fight.
yeah, I am excited. I think this season we're gonna get that fight, and the Tesla fight I think is next after that.
The Buddha fight.
So-
I think before Buddha, Jack the Ripper was my favorite, but I think
Jack the Ripper fight's a lot of fun
I
too.
think Buddha was. Had
Yeah.
so many twists and turns I wasn't expecting. It was so good.
I just love that concept
Yep.
overall. My 7th pick, speaking of Seven Deadly Sins, is Seven Deadly Sins, and I feel like my answer is kind of a cop out.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because obviously, when it came to Seven Deadly Sins, A1 Pictures did the first 2 seasons, I believe, and then it jumped to. Let me see here, going through quick.
Yeah, you might be jumping all over the place now.
Come season 3, it was Studio Dean,
Studio Dean. Okay.
which on the top of my head, don't really know any other animes that was under that title, and it looks like they only did this season of.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they jumped to a different studio, and then after that, there was another one,
Yeah.
which is not a good sign usually.
Yeah, so the next 2, so season 3 and 4 was Studio Dean, and then it looks like come
Near the end.
next one, it's Telcom Animation
Okay.
Film or something like that. Anyways, I say mine's kind of a cop-out answer because my answer is just to let A1 Pictures continue
Okay. I see.
after they stopped it or like.
I have a similar
It's
thing in my list, but I didn't because of the studio that already did it. I chose to not use that studio, but you went the opposite route, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
It's within the rules.
It's within the rules where I think if A1 Pictures continue with Seven Deadly Sins, I personally probably would have kept watching it.
Okay. I know that Seven Deadly Sins is a bit of a. I don't know. It seems like you either like it or you
Yeah,
don't. There is
definitely.
no real in between. You either are like, yeah, I enjoyed the series,
Yeah.
or not, couldn't get into it, even during the good animation.
Yeah, I usually give animation the benefit of the doubt, But I think, yeah, when you're 3 seasons in and you change animation companies and it significantly drops,
Yeah.
It just takes me out of it. Unlike, say, Attack on Titan, for example, where we had one studio, Wit Studio, that did it for the most of it, and then Mappa came in and finished it. There was no like drastic downgrade in any way, in my opinion.
They each had different styles. That's the thing.
Yeah.
For Attack on Titan, I guess I'll just spoil it. It's in my honorable mentions. Reason it's in my honorable mentions is that exact reason. It wasn't bad enough to have to.
Exactly.
I would have loved to see just one studio take it all the way through.
For sure.
Whether it's go and have Mappa
do
go
the whole
back and do the whole thing,
or Wit Studio do
the whole
their
thing.
own. Yeah.
And I understand there was like Wit Studio was like, yeah, we can't do it in the time frame you want. Totally get it.
100%.
But yeah, that's the reason it's in my honorable mentions is that it is still good. It still holds up. Now there's things I dislike from both. I think Wit had some pretty ugly CGI in their post season 1 where they did 2D animation for the Titans.
Yeah.
And then they had some real uggo CGI where the CGI from Mappa was so clean. Like it blended so much better with the
world
art style that they were doing.
Yeah.
And the art style was a lot closer to the manga.
Yes.
Which looked really cool. But the maneuver gear was not as good. Nowhere near as good as how Wit was handling it. That was also, I think, like CGI. And sometimes you just saw like the moving of the strings. Didn't look as good, but they each had pros and cons. But overall, it was still both good. You're nitpicking, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think unlike Attack on Titan, I think Seven Deadly Sins, like I would just love to see.
Been memed.
It's been memed so much.
I know. It's like no consistency in the art.
Yeah. And it just the fact that personally, like again, like I said, I'm usually a benefit of the doubt. I've watched some really bad anime.
Frames.
7 Deadly Frames.
Yeah,
it's just
not great.
Not great. But your 7th pick, sir.
7th pick, I put Tower of God.
Okay.
Which is based on a manhwa or a I guess technically it's a manhwa, but it's really based on a webtoon comic.
Mm-hmm.
And I put down Studio Trigger.
Okay.
The original studio was Telecom for the first season, and then the Answer Studio for the second season. Now, the first season was acceptable. I know there was a lot of hate talking about art and how it wasn't the same as the webtoon. I feel like that's always kind of maybe not 1-to-1. But the story, for the most part, was following properly. Then season 2 was just slideshow, plus not following the story properly as much. So it's just a mess overall.
Yep, I agree.
So I just think the world and the story is very interesting, and I'm just not going to read. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to read the comic.
Yeah.
It's just, I have a lot of other stuff on the go. I'm just not. It's just one of those anime where I'm just like, it's the opposite of The Promised Neverland. With Promised Neverland, I'm like, I read it. I don't really need to watch the whole thing. Like, I'll live. Where this is the opposite, where sometimes I'm really into an anime and I'm like, oh, I need to read it.
Yeah.
This one's like, I'm really into it, but I'm not going to read it. So I just hope they keep producing
pumping it out.
Anime and it's good. And it wasn't good.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
And I think Trigger I don't know, aesthetically, I think it just works. That could just be based on the first season, because obviously I haven't read it, so I think that they have that. I guess what I was thinking of when I'm relating was Kill la Kill. And if you want a little bit more up to date, like Edge Runners also could work, but I was thinking more of the Kill la Kill, the way how they had speed represented and just the fluidity of the fights.
Yeah.
I just think it would work really good for Tower of God. And I don't know, maybe Tower of God goes to space. That would be really fitting.
It could fit.
It could work really, really well for them.
Yeah.
But also Trigger, everything they definitely, even if it's a miss at the end, they put a lot of passion into their projects.
Yeah.
And I would love to see such a beloved story get the passion it deserves.
Definitely. Moving on to 6 for myself then. This is one you already mentioned. I think it was your number 10.
Ragnarok? Naruto, okay.
Again, this is was one of the first big anime I watched that was long running and stuff. So obviously this one's partially nostalgic, but I think similar to you, it would just be nice to see it without filler, more concise. I was trying to figure out a good studio for this.
Yeah.
This might be a weird one. I don't know. I was thinking Cinema Citrus, but I was also Wit Studio maybe, because I really enjoyed the early, specifically
have
season
Wit do
1.
all the big 3.
literally. Like I enjoyed early Attack on Titan, like you said, season 1, like
Oh,
before it
I
became.
mean, that everything I've
like-
watched by Wit is great.
Yeah, so I would love to see Naruto. I mean, you see how they deal with the good politicalness in Attack on Titan, like both dialogue, the animation. So seeing like that aspect of Naruto shined on a little bit more. But also like when I think of the beginning of Naruto and how like more, it's weird to say kiddish, but starting out, because obviously Naruto's young, we see how they're able to do that in like Spy Family, for
Yep.
example.
They do Spy Family.
So I think like Spy Family and like early Attack on Titan, I think those are two great examples of using that energy and putting that into Naruto.
Okay.
I think could be really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything Wit would do would be
Yeah.
great, but I see where you're coming from. I think the only issue for me is I don't know if I've off the top of my head if I can think of anything Wit studio based that has like insane powers.
That is true,
Because
actually.
Naruto obviously gets a little ridiculous.
Yeah,
But I think a lot of the early Naruto hand-to-hand combat and stuff would be really
that's
well
what I mean
done.
with like the way they've done Attack on Titan.
Well, I think of
it
the Levi
definitely-
scenes. I think of
yeah.
Vinland Saga. Like incredible fight scenes.
I think they could definitely handle it. But yeah, near the end, I think it might get a little choppy.
Well, I just can't off the top of my head. I can't think of any like crazy power.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down.
Like like
Nothing
crazy
insane.
battle shonen power level
Yeah.
stuff going on with them. But I'm sure they would be able to do, obviously, no doubt.
Yeah.
Just not that I've seen. For me, I'm actually gonna do an audible, and I'm gonna switch up one of mine.
Oh,
I'm gonna take my 5 and make it my 6.
take your 5 and make your 6. Okay.
And that's Blue Lock. Now, there's a bit of recency bias here.
Yep.
Big reason is, I think the reason I'm kind of switching is because it's a little bit more recent, so I'm gonna want to put it down the list.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've seen season 1, it was decent. It wasn't unreal, but it was solid.
Yep.
The studio for Blue Lock was 8-bit.
Okay.
And it was definitely passable. Then season 2 came out, and it was awful. It was slideshow times a million until the final episode where there was one scene that's like 2.5 minutes that was where credit is due. It was great, but it doesn't make up for the whole show being bad.
No.
So that's why it's on the list. And I would just like to see, I think, another sports anime kind of reach that Haikyuu peak, because we've seen via our episodes of talking about manga sales how well Blue Lock was doing.
Yeah, and it
in manga
definitely
sales.
tanked it a little bit.
So I would think it would be really cool to see it continue getting a good treatment. So I put down IG, production IG, who does Haikyuu, and just give it the Haikyuu treatment. Just, don't full CGI. And I'm talking, if people are going to be nitpicky, obviously there are a couple seasons of Haikyuu that are not up to snuff. I'm talking season 2, season 3 level
Yeah.
Haikyuu, just peak, where you're watching all of the action happen during the sport. And I want to see the passes happen. I want to just see I pass, and you see the character, and then you don't see the ball move, and it just goes all of a sudden slideshow to the next character, and he has the ball. I want to follow the whole play. I want to see the footwork and stuff. So that's a big reason. But obviously, it's a little, there's definitely older shows that probably deserve one over this.
Yeah.
But
I see what you're getting at, though. I think
as someone who
bias,
also enjoys
but also
soccer,
you want to see it done good.
yeah, I want to see it done well. And so I'm gonna put it as 6.
Fair enough. Now we move into my 5th spot, which
into the top 5.
into the top 5, which is also recency bias. The beginning after the end.
Yeah, that was a bit.
That's a lot of people know that. If you're a fan of anime, you know.
I have the beginning after the end in my honorable mentions.
That's so fair. Yeah, done by Studio ACAT originally. If you've watched it, you know how
Interesting story.
interesting
premise.
story. Love the concept of it. Executed not the best.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
statement.
trying to be nice about it. But I actually put Studio P for this.
Interesting.
Which I know is a hot take potentially. But honestly, like I said, Naruto did have good moments of animation.
Yeah. So did Tokyo Ghoul.
So does Tokyo Ghoul. So did the original Bleach, Black Clover. They definitely had some good opportunities and good things.
Yeah, when they tried, they tried.
Exactly. So that's what I would hope for this.
Just throughout the entire show.
Just throughout the entire show. A good, healthy 12 eps of just
explaining the story, to you
explaining the story
and having cool fights.
because we do see that in like early Naruto. Like,
Yeah.
we got some cool fights, we got some good story lore, you know. So that would be my hope.
It's fair. It's totally valid. I really enjoyed the story as well. Like there's not many shows that I suffer through just truly bad
Yeah,
animation and been like, you know what? The story's interesting enough that I want to keep hearing what's going on.
yeah.
So I respect that it's on your list. For me, number 5 is actually one of our animes of the month,
Which is wild to me.
which is Flying Witch. So if you guys haven't already, you should check out our episode on the Flying Witch.
Yup.
Only if you watch it because there are spoilers in it. But it's a great show.
Definitely.
Super chill. Really cute, really cutesy, enjoyable. You know, like, it's one of those shows that just makes you smile.
Mm-hmm.
And it only got 1 season, and there's a lot more to the story.
Always is.
So my reason is I would love to just see it keep going. And the studio I picked was Kyoto, who does just breathtaking, cute stories better than Kyoto. Not many people.
Yeah.
So that's I don't know if much more needs to be said. I just think they would do an absolutely stellar job. It would look amazing, and it's just a fantastic magical slice of life.
That's so fair.
You know, it can't all just be shonens. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta have something that's just like, wow, that made me smile.
That's so fair.
What about you? Number 4.
I'm gonna switch up mine as well. Actually, now that I'm
you're
looking.
having a change up.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why is this higher than it should be? So my number 4 is going to be a film called Batman Ninja.
Batman Ninja,
Which
the
obviously
film.
the film, yes.
Okay.
As someone who's obviously a big DC fan and superheroes, I always love when they can collab with animation studios. I mean, I love Star Wars Visions, for example, right?
Sure. Go check out our episode on Star Wars Visions that came out recently.
Exactly. And so, like, I don't know, I was kind of looking forward to Batman Ninja, and the story's great. I enjoy the general concept of like an old style Japanese.
Did Batman Ninja get a manga or like a
Nope.
comic? It was
Nope.
just a movie.
Just a movie, yeah.
Okay.
And it got a sequel for like the Yakuza League kind of
Okay.
thing. So I was definitely excited for it. And I was trying to think of studios, and then I was thinking of like Star Wars Visions, because obviously we watched recently and everything. I was like, man, how great would it be if it was the studio that did like the Duel or like Duel Payback? I was like, oh, I would love that. And then I looked into it, and it's the same studio.
Oh,
And I was
awkward.
like, what? What
happened?
What happened here? You had probably a higher budget than you did for the Duel. But you know, I don't know.
Into the writing, I don't know.
But yeah. So originally I would say the same studio, but I can't. So I was trying to think of other ones, and you brought this studio up earlier, and that's Trigger. And I
Trigger.
think this would be a really fun one to see, like the Batman Ninja as a Trigger, because you said like they always put their best effort into it. And like when you mentioned about like the way they do like speed and flying and stuff like that, I think of like seeing like a Batarang go through, or like
yeah,
the
they probably
Flash.
handled the combat very well.
So like I think that would be really fun.
I thought you were gonna go maybe lean into the 3D animation still and go with something like Studio Orange, who does the Beastars.
I was thinking about
'Cause
that,
they're
but
like peak. I think for me, like some of the best 3D animation,
definitely.
right?
I
And
do
I
agree
think
with
they
that.
also did
Yeah.
Land of the Lustrous, which is
Yep.
a lot more movement than Beastars, which is a drama.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see them potentially handling combat
That could be
pretty
good
well.
too. Yeah. I think for me, because I always enjoy how colorful Trigger animation is.
Yeah, sure. Like I
So
like
I
their color
think-
palette.
I think it'd be really cool to see like the Batman Ninja film and how colorful it could be, and then it would also make Batman stand out so much, because I feel like they would just have a lot of fun with the coloring of the story alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. And
Your number 4.
for me, probably one of the heavy reasons or impacted to making this episode,
Yep.
because currently airing is one of this repulsive seasons, and that's One Punch Man. So obviously with One Punch Man, you have probably one of the greatest, or in like modern day anime. I say modern, but I'm pretty sure it came out in 2015.
Around there, yeah.
So it came out 10 years ago. But a very unreal season 1.
Definitely.
A show that a lot of anime fans would show their non-anime fan friends to try and get them into anime, and it did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the waiting for a second season to just be disappointed, with obviously the studio changing from Madhouse over to JC Staff. Not that JC Staff is bad. I enjoy a lot of JC Staff anime, we had never seen JC Staff do like a shonen or a really hardcore action fight based anime.
Yeah.
So everyone was already nervous based on that. And the problem is there was always going to be a downgrade.
Yeah. There was always, unfortunately.
It doesn't really matter what studio took it. I think there was always people were always going to be like, nope, it's not. It wasn't Madhouse to Madhouse's level, and
don't look at it that way.
comparison was always going to be there, and I don't think it'll ever live up to that, no matter who did it. But it wasn't. It wasn't the best. It was okay. It was definitely a massive downgrade, but
Yep.
it was okay. Now we're on to season 3, and it's
Even worse.
yeah, it's down. It's even worse, and
That's unfortunate.
so it has to be in this list. Has to be in the
Yeah.
top 5 for me. And I almost did what you did originally for keeping the studio. And you did that for 7 Deadly Sins, where you're like, I'll just let the studio carry
Yeah.
through and just be like, just do what you did and carry it through.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like it wouldn't be honest in my top 5 to be like, I'm just going to let Madhouse just go through.
Yeah.
Plus, one of my other ones maybe uses Madhouse, who's to say. And so I had to find a different studio that I think could handle One Punch Man. And obviously, as we said in our rules, they're going to have all the budget. They're going to have all the time. So I feel like they're going to do a great job.
Yep.
And that studio is, did I even write down? Can't remember what I put down. I'm reading all my like quick notes. I'm like, where's the One Punch Man? Oh, I put Mappa.
Mappa. Nice.
Reason being is I just think they handle fight scenes really well. They have when they try. Sometimes they have taken on a lot of projects.
Yeah.
And it does feel like sometimes things are maybe one, obviously the animators, like, God bless. They definitely don't have the time and sleep that they need.
Yeah.
But it does feel like certain things get picked out and those get maybe a little bit of the extra
Yep. A little bit
compared to
of
other
extra loving.
series. So then you can kind of notice. But they handle a lot of just the chaos.
Yeah.
I think you think to like JJK, some of that is just great. Chainsaw Man, there's just so much going on. So I think they would handle the One Punch Man really well, and they would handle the comedic scenes. I think to JJK a lot with switching the art styles to like Gojo being silly and stuff. That works perfectly for One Punch Man, which goes from like these epic serious moments to a more simplistic art style of Saitama joking around or being confused or something.
Yeah.
So I think that would just be a really good fit.
Mm-hmm. I'm here for that.
May as well just give Mappa more. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Give Mappa even more. Moving into the top 3.
This was tough.
This
Well, it was tough because I felt like there were non-negotiables that I
that's
had to
very
put
fair.
in for my list,
Yeah.
and that made it very difficult to put anything into it.
Yeah. My top 3 makes sense for me.
Okay, fair enough.
In the third place, you kind of stole a lot of my reasoning for this one with what you just said with the Mappa. So I would love to see Tokyo Ghoul remade with
Okay.
Mappa.
Tokyo Ghoul is also my number 3.
Perfect. Okay.
So we can see kind of maybe our choices and how
Yeah.
they differ.
Like you said with Mappa, like seeing how well JJK is and like Hell's Paradise is really good too, and like even like the later on Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, like I just think those animations alone would be stellar for later on Tokyo Ghoul,
Okay.
and it would make the manga properly come to life and be less confusing with lines and colors in theory.
There are some very we have both read all of Tokyo Ghoul.
Yes.
And
Tokyo
yes,
Ghoul
there are moments
that get a little messy.
where there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of black. And you're just like,
Yeah.
I can't even follow what the Cogne's doing anymore.
exactly.
And the studio I picked to take on the difficult task of making those fights make sense on the screen is Ufotable.
That's a good
better
pick for that.
Then to take, no offense to the Demon Slayer art, but a
Yep.
very chill, simple, easy to follow art,
Yep.
and turn it into the most mind-blowing, well choreographed fights.
Yeah.
Right? And now they get to do it with messy fights and turn
But
them
hopefully
into
clean it up a little
yeah,
bit.
help make them some fun, awesome action. I think of just the way they handled the art of the breathing styles, kind of with the extra dark lines.
Yeah,
I think could look really cool for a Cogne.
that is very true.
And obviously I feel like, everyone talks about Demon Slayer, but let's not forget Fate and how unreal Fate is. Fate has a lot of cool powers,
Yep.
and they handle all the fights very well. So I think Tokyo Ghoul for me, Ufotable, just bring those fight scenes to the absolute maximum that they can be.
Not to say the Studio P didn't do a good job to start.
Well, there's elements that they have done a good job.
Exactly.
I'm thinking also, I'm not just looking at the fights. I'm also looking at follow the story all
Follow
the way
the story,
through.
yeah. Don't
Follow
do
the
a
manga
weird
all the way through.
spin-off, half
And
filler
it feels like it went
season.
Season 1, solid.
Yeah.
Season 2, and story. If you're just an anime only, you're like, okay, that was
Yeah, makes
sure,
sense. Yeah, it's good.
weird. Okay,
Whatevs.
ending, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a manga reader, like what?
What the heck did
Yeah,
I
what
just
the
watch?
heck? And then the fact that they introduced but then go back to the core of the manga.
Yeah.
Then the animator is like, wait, what just happened? And the manga reader's like, okay. And season 1 is decent. The first fight is good.
Yep.
And then it starts to already start falling off after that. And then season 2, it's like they didn't try again.
Yeah, they just got it. It's the whole
So I would just want to see a consistent, just all the way, just keep riding.
Exactly.
Keep riding, see awesome fights. And I think for me, I want to see Ufotable bring the Cognate to life and see what they can do with it.
Heck yeah. Top 2.
Top 2.
Number 2. This one is obviously not surprising for this to be up this high for me, and that is obviously The Promised Neverland.
No.
I mean, it's one of my favorite mangas.
Yeah.
You know, it's the first ever manga box that I bought, so obviously I love it from that regard. But I think it's just how great season 1 was to the downside of season 2 of condensing like 150 chapters.
Oh yeah,
into
I know.
11 episodes.
Yeah, how many arcs just get skipped?
And my favorite arc didn't even get mentioned, like the Goldie Pond arc.
Oh, I know.
I would love to see animated.
I think I watched the first 3 episodes of season 2.
It's farther than I got.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but someone gets introduced, and I was like,
way too early.
yeah, and I was like, wait a second.
I want to see those proper plot twists done the way the manga has it. But similar to you, like obviously I have the
Goldie
manga,
Pond might be
but it is the best arc.
Yeah, like
It's
I mean,
the
the
lore.
first escape is hard to argue it's not the best
Yeah,
because obviously that's where the initial twist happens. And
the
you're
real
like,
story begins.
yeah, and you're like, what the? But
Yeah,
Goldie Pond is right up there.
yeah. Goldie Pond is definitely. This just adds so much to the world because
And
obviously
it's referenced later in the story.
Yeah,
it's not like it's
actually important.
Yeah,
Like because you meet some very important characters.
exactly.
But anyway, so I picked Bones Films
Bones
for
Film.
this one. Obviously, it's a
Who's done like 2 anime?
It's done like 2 anime, but man, My Hero has been popping off this season.
Yep.
The animation's been stellar. And obviously they're doing Gachi Kuta. And of the episodes I've seen, I'm like, this animation is so clean.
Yeah, for me,
So-
I think if I was to pick Bones, I probably would have just went with
Regular Bones.
regular OG
Yeah.
Bones just for the sake of their, library that we can look to.
Yeah, I think obviously Bones, but knowing that Bones Films just has a little bit of extra budget in theory.
In theory, I mean, it's hard
Um,
to say because I think their first anime was the My Hero spinoff,
Yeah, the
which was
Vigilante.
okay. It was
Yeah,
decent.
but it doesn't really show their.
Yeah, it didn't really
potential
feel
yet.
like it had to be the film
Yeah,
version. But I see
Yeah.
where you're coming from. You're
Yeah.
kind of being like, hey, we're already going with unlimited budget. May as well make sure that it's a higher budget
exactly.
version of that studio. Just
Yeah.
go with what they are considering their premium version.
Exactly.
I feel like some of that's just marketing by Studio P and Bones to just be like, yeah, this is by our film studio.
Yeah,
And you're
a
like,
little bit more
because
money.
films always have more money, and you're just like, oh, okay.
You're like, oh, yeah,
check
all
it
right,
out.
I'm in.
But I see where you're coming from. And obviously, Bones is incredible at fights. I
Yeah.
mean,
Not that there's a lot of fights in Promised Neverland.
but I mean, there are elements of
But, yeah,
action that
Exactly.
they can handle very well.
Yes, I'd be very excited.
For me, number 2 is a very love series. I think underrated by a lot of people who don't know it, and that's Yona of the Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a shoujo, but I think it is one of the best shoujo to try and get people who are shonen junkies to watch shoujo,
Okay.
because it's very shonen-y.
Yeah.
It feels very shonen with like shoujo elements, and this is a really great story. Only ever got 1 season, and that's criminal. It has a
Criminal.
great, yeah, it has a great setup. The cast of characters you meet right off the beginning are already interesting enough to be like, okay, I'm in it for the long haul. Like,
Yeah.
let's see where everything goes. The original studio is Studio Period. Also, Tokyo Ghoul, also Studio Period.
Yep.
I feel like we forgot to mention that. And I put Wit because
Nice. Okay.
yeah, season 1 was good. It's not that it was bad. I thought Stu P did a good job.
Yeah.
It's just it got the axe for whatever reason. And the manga is just coming to an end. I can't remember if the manga just recently ended
Oh,
or
yes.
it is coming to an end
Yeah.
very soon. So there is a ton of content
content.
for this series. The original adaptation or the manga came out in 2009 started. So it's
Wow.
definitely
Okay.
old.
About 15
Um,
years going.
And if I'm just going to pull up just to get this right as well. The original, the anime came out in 2014.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So 11 years ago. So also it has time on our side, you know?
Yeah, it's about time
Yeah,
to
exactly.
redo it.
And I just, deserves a proper adaptation all the way through the story. I feel like Whip brings so much passion to their works. I think to like Vinland Saga, where they flexed the animation skills, their fight choreography when they needed to. But then you look at season 2 and how well it was done, where it focuses a lot more on the emotions of characters and character
Yeah.
relationships and not as much fighting.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the mix everyone has done, where there are fighting, but there's a lot of emotion and like talking moments, character development. And I think that they've shown that they can be both sides of the blade, if you will, and handle it very well. And yeah, I would love to see Yonadon get a proper continuation.
Okay.
You know,
I respect
may
it.
as well just start at the beginning, but like do
Yeah.
the whole thing. And I think anything Wit does is gonna be great.
Yeah.
They are just
Hands down.
absolutely top tier animation studio.
Yeah.
On to number 1.
Number 1.
This was a non-negotiable for me. Was yours a non-negotiable? Like when you made this list, were you like, this is one?
For me, yes. Knowing what you have makes total sense. And the one I have for number 1 makes total sense, but it makes sense for us as people,
Oh, okay.
you know? Because obviously my number 1, I don't think people would be like, oh yeah, no, definitely. But others,
They might get it.
yeah.
If they get it, if you know, you know, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So obviously my number 1 is clearly Record of Ragnarok.
Okay.
As someone who knows me and like people who listen to the podcast, I love crazy fictional worlds. I love crossovers.
You love the gods.
And I love the gods. Love me some
of
Percy
all
Jackson.
different types
love
of mythologies.
Yeah, all mythologies, all
Mythologies are
spiritualities.
yeah, Matt is. If you
Like-
don't know Matt, he loves educating himself on just different
History,
gods,
religion,
histories, yeah.
mythologies, spiritualities. So obviously, Record of Ragnarok is right up my alley for that.
because it's a melding of all of it.
It's literally a little bit of everything.
Mhm.
And
Like,
then on top
cool.
of that,
they referenced the Greek. Oh, okay, they
Yeah,
referenced the Roman version.
here's some Hindu gods,
here's
and
the Buddha.
here's Buddha himself.
Oh, okay, we're jumping onto. Oh, here's some like Celtic stuff.
Yeah,
and
and then on
that's just
top
like, I'm
of
eating
that-
it all up.
Yeah, and on top of that, they're bringing historical figures
Yeah.
out of human history and stuff as well. Which
Some
is
of which you would never imagine.
No.
Like they talk about the character, and some of them you're like, okay, that makes sense to have
yeah.
fight for
Here's
humanity.
the first ever like samurai and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then next up is Jack the Ripper, and you're like, hold up,
Yep.
or Tesla. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, people that you're like, that doesn't make as much sense
Yeah.
for fighting.
But then the Valkyries are really cool, and I think all encompassing the story is so interesting because it's also a battle royale.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just
It's
it's a giant
it's a tournament arc. And for me, I'm like, who has a great animation that has done historical figures, that's got super clean fighting scenes, and I was like, the only logical option is Ufotable. Obviously, Demon Slayer is great,
You're
but
making
I'm
reference
thinking
to Fate.
Fate Zero, Fate Saint Unlimited Blade Works. We have literal historical characters in there,
Yep.
and
And
Fate
they
Zero
bring fights.
fight scenes are incredible.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I would love to see certain fights, like the Poseidon fight.
Yep.
Would
I mean, any
be-
fight.
Any fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think it's a great choice for them.
it just makes sense. We know
If-
Ufotable can do
If I
it.
had Ragnar higher, that would be a potential suitor. It's just that it was so low that I can't.
Yeah,
really.
and Ufotable is great, so it's hard to pick just one that you'd.
Oh,
want
I
them
know.
to do,
Anything
right?
with amazing fights, you would want to be like,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, like you said, this is literally a tournament arc anime and manga. So like, why not have the literal big fighter
Yeah.
animation studio do it?
All right. For me, this was a non-negotiable. Very easy to put in because I basically started the list with this one.
Yep.
And I started with this, then I had Tokyo Ghoul, and then I kind of built the list.
That
and
makes
kind of
sense.
made things work and fit where I wanted them.
Yeah.
And that is Berserk. Obviously, 2016 is absolutely atrocious, embarrassing, should be deleted off the planet.
Yep.
Levels of embarrassing. I think the 90s adaptation is decent. If anyone's ever seen it, it is actually pretty solid.
It's just crazy that a 90s adaptation is better than a 2016 adaptation. I think that like says it all.
Yeah. It's definitely unfortunate to say the
Yes.
least. The original studio, so the 90s studio was OLM,
Mhm.
and 2016 was Millimpensi and
Okay.
GEMBA. Gemba. I don't know. I want to forget them already. So obviously, 90s, that's old. And they never finished the story. They just did, I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't read or seen Berserk.
Yeah.
Not being one of those people who will eventually get in, so I don't want to go too deep. But they didn't cover the whole story. Obviously, we're not even done the story, technically. And studio I picked to take on this mammoth task. Now, I want it to be said that I do not think Berserk can ever truly bring, no one can truly bring the art of Berserk
No.
to
The
anime.
big screen.
Like to the level of detail,
Yeah.
right? Because the art is just something. It's just beautiful. It's immaculate.
Yeah. Hands down.
It's some of the best art in any manga I've ever read. That's how good it is. And I feel like it's unfair to say that, oh yeah, any studio could do that if they're just given the proper time and money. I don't think so.
No.
I think that I think Miro, it's just too good. He was too good. But the studio I picked was Madhouse.
Okay.
And I was the anime I had in my mind, and I also think the aesthetic would work. Is I have Hellsing Ultimate and Monster, so I am even going back to that earlier 2000s
Yeah.
aesthetic that Madhouse had, and like kind of if you want to say a golden age of Madhouse for that kind of area. Black Lagoon, I think they also did. But I think that aesthetic, that art style, it just would work really well for Berserk. That's just my opinion. I also think that Madhouse has done like Hellsing Ultimate, darker themes, Monster, very darker themes. I think that they would be able to handle it very well. Big name to match a big studio name to match a very big title
Oh, definitely.
as well. And I just would hope, obviously, in this Delulu land, they would do a great job.
Yeah.
And also, as an anime fan, I also know that there would still be people hating, saying it isn't good, which is crazy considering our, the way we laid it out.
It's true.
But if any studio could truly do it justice, if they had the time and the money, I think it's Madhouse.
So fair.
And I would love to see them put their best effort forward in making this series. And I know that, I've seen a lot of spicy takes on Berserk now as it gets into the hands of a lot more people outside of the normal community.
Yeah.
And maybe they're a little bit appalled at the series in some ways. But I do think that it is one of the greatest fantasy series stories we've gotten ever.
Dang.
Like that's
You're
how,
not wrong.
That's how good I think Berserk is.
Yeah.
Like that it can hold itself with some of the greatest fantasies ever written.
Definitely. Hands down. 100%.
So that's why it's number one, and it's never truly gotten the adaptation it deserves for how massive it is.
Yeah.
But let us know what some of your anime that you would love to see get remade and what studio you pick.
Do you agree with any of our choices?
Absolutely. Do you have any honorable mentions, Matt? I know that you only had 8.
No, those are like obviously all your options that are on my list. I think are all great options.
All right, I'll hop through a couple.
But yeah,
speed
you
run,
said you got a
I'll
few.
Speed run
So
a few here. So Bleach, just have Studio P Films do all of Bleach, get rid of all the filler, and just do it all to 1,000 Year Blood War arc. I think that would be really cool. I pretty much have any weekly shonen in here. Black Clover, and it's all just based on wanting to see consistency, no filler.
Yeah.
Black Clover, don't really care who does the because some of these I didn't write down what studio to do. That was just when I was brainstorming. Would love to see Black Clover just have consistency. This one was really tough. I thought about putting it in my. There was these two. Okay, there's two that I was considering putting in my list, but they didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it's because of nostalgia and just I love the way it already looks, even if it's not perfect.
Okay.
and that's Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yep.
Makes
sense.
It's also by Studio P. But I just don't even want to think of it not looking the way it does.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so, it's not perfect, but it is.
It is for that time.
It just feels perfect.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Ouran High School Host Club, which that's I mean, maybe it's a guilty pleasure or a hot take, but I absolutely love that show.
Yeah.
I think that Studio Shaft would be absolutely unreal. I can already see them doing the head tilts, the classic Shaft head tilts with them, because they already do it in the story. So it's like a match made in heaven.
It's just perfect.
And I just absolutely love, but I didn't put it in the list because, I just love it.
Yeah.
Even though it's maybe not the best, I just love that show.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, obviously Attack on Titan, it's recent, and it's not that it's bad. It's just,
that's what I mean. It's not a downgrade in any way.
I would just like to see one of the studios been able, like, I would have loved to see
start to finish
it, and I would have maybe loved to see, if it wasn't, then just have Mappa do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's just because I just don't like the crazy change. I would rather it just be consistent throughout. But
exactly.
They both brought elements that I loved to the series. Some other honorable mentions, I had Seven Deadly Sins when I was brainstorming. I had T-Bait in here while I was brainstorming.
Yeah.
I had Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
Mostly because it falls off a lot. And in Tokyo Revengers, it's a lot of fighting. Like, just fisticuffs, Just
exactly.
hand-to-hand combat. And they don't even show, it's like slideshow punches.
Yeah. Mappa would kill it with that.
So I think that's why I put it in there. And then for the lulz, I have Domestic Girlfriend continuing, because it only ever got one season. Finish the dumpster fire. That is Domestic Girlfriend.
That's fair.
I feel like that show, it deserves the justice. It deserves to have the whole series told. Everyone deserves to. If they don't want to feel like reading it, they deserve to watch it in an animated format and see the whole shebang.
The whole shebang.
The whole dumpster
Jeez
fire.
Louise.
Bring it to life. I don't know if a studio can handle it, to be honest.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, and then I think Shaft is one of the biggest studios that I wasn't able to use for the series I ended up having early up. And that's what kind of led me to Ouran, where I was all like, who would do a good job? What would Shaft do a good remake of that I like? And then that's when I was like, you know what? They do a great job with Ouran.
That would be fun.
But yeah, those are my
honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions and kind of my thought process that I was working up.
Yeah.
We would love to hear what you guys would love to see get remade. Remember, it's just for fun.
Yeah.
We totally understand. If
we ain't judging you guys.
Well, if animators had the time, if the studios had the money,
then
all anime would be great. And unfortunately, we don't live in that world.
Exactly.
Which is very sad, because I would love to see some of those shows and current shows get all the time they deserve to be the best possible adaptation.
Exactly.
But look at Hollywood. We don't even get perfect adaptations of stuff here, and they have budgets up the wazoo.
Yeah.
So,
whoops.
Tune in next week, guys, for another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast.
We'll see you then. Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you, and see you next week.